All right, everybody, good morning. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here on our Monday, well, I should say afternoon, right? Monday afternoon. It is just after 12:30. And today marks the beginning of Hurricane Preparedness Week. Actually started yesterday, but this is the week where we kind of show you day by day of what you need to know to get ready for the upcoming season. How you can get your family prepared, your house prepared, your insurance, help your neighbors, evacuation, all that good stuff. And if you're new to the area, this is a really good opportunity for you to kind of check in and see what you need to do, what to expect. If you know somebody who's new to the area, you may want to tag them in here in the comments or share this post on your page as well too, because I want to just go over today's subjects, which are the hazards with hurricanes and then having a plan, what you need to do to get your plan ready. So, and then we'll talk a little bit of weather, right? We'll talk a little bit of weather for the afternoon. So good to see everybody joining on in here. Here we go. Let's talk about the hazards. And so hazards can vary between people and depending on where you live in the area, right? Storm surge, the most dangerous hazard that we have actually, right? Because that water can come and just take you away. Now, storm surge is not going to affect everybody, right? It's only the coastal communities. But remember, that includes the inside of the bay. That includes all of the inside of, excuse me, of Hillsborough County as well, right? Apollo Beach, Ruskin, all the way up through Oldsmar, right? St. Pete, downtown St. Pete, all those areas, you know what it is. You can get storm surge if you're near the coast. So one thing you want to do is you want to know your zone. You can go to floridadisaster.org/knowyourzone. And from that, you can put in your address and it will tell you your evacuation zone. And then, if an evacuation is needed, you'll hear that from us, which zones are going to be evacuated. Now, we mainly evacuate for storm surge, okay? We do not want you going hundreds of miles. We only want you going tens of miles. Do you have a friend that lives inland that's not going to see storm surge, that doesn't have to evacuate? Can you stay with them? That's part of your plan. That's something that you want to think about. Like, all right, I potentially would have to evacuate. Where would I go? When would I go? Where would I go? Right? Because then you got to think, if you're going to a shelter and you've got pets, well, most shelters don't even take pets. Some do, but most don't. So what are you going to do then? Well, I know a lot of folks got pets over COVID. So certain things you have to think about. Now, inland flooding. Inland flooding, like, is anywhere around the rivers. That type of flooding, if you're down by the river, will basically occur after the storm. The flooding for rivers after big hurricanes like that with a lot of rainfall, it lags like day, 2 days, maybe 3 days, 4 days, and you can see a peak. Could even be longer than that. But if you live in an area where you see a thunderstorm now, like heavy rainfall and a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and it floods, you could potentially, and most likely, will see some flooding. So that's what we talk about when we talk about inland flooding. That is not the wind pushing the water up onto the beaches and up into the bay, which is what storm surge is. This is inland flooding, is rainfall coming down very quickly, puddling up into those areas, kind of draining into those areas. Now, high winds. Look, I can't tell you how many of these Facebook Lives we do where you tell, here comes the hurricanes, Irma, it's going to be here tonight, it's going to be over the Keys, and it's going to be over Lakeland, and it's going to be over Jacksonville. All right? And then you talk about Largo, and you say, oh, Largo's probably going to see 75 to 85 mile per hour winds with some higher gusts. And then somebody will ask, all right, well, what about Pinellas Park? Well, they're right next to each other. The storm is probably 200 to almost 400 miles wide, right? The wind field can definitely get smaller, right? Now, it's highest near the center usually. So there can be differences, but for the most part, we're all going to get high winds if we have a direct hit here from a hurricane, or one going up over top us just like Irma did. So in that case, what you want to think about is what type of structure you live in. Where are you evacuating to if you have to evacuate, right? You don't, if you're in a mobile home, you really don't want to be in that during a hurricane. Okay, we can get tornadoes, obviously that's not good, but just hurricane can have very high winds. So you need to think about that as well too. And the last one, the threat, is tornadoes, especially in what we call the northeast quadrant. If you've got a circle here, here's the hurricane, right? It's that 1 or 12 to 3 o'clock quadrant of the storm where we tend to see more tornadoes. They're short-lived, they move super fast, they usually tend to be weak, but they are tornadoes, and they can produce some. Now let's go back over here. Let's talk about Today's main thing that we're trying to get across is having a plan. So this means if you're going to evacuate, where are you going to go, how are you going to get there, what are you taking with you. Some of that we'll get into later, like your hurricane kit, that type of thing. But look, you need to have your documents, right? All of your important documents. That means your Social Security cards, your passports if you have them, your birth certificates, insurance policies. I know everything's online nowadays, but it's not a bad idea to have it in print as well too. Any kind of, and we'll go over a list of a hurricane kit, but certainly things like medications and stuff like that. But this is about having a plan. This is about saying, okay, if a hurricane approaches us, we're in an area, or maybe you're not in an evacuation zone, but maybe you don't want to live here during those 3 or 4 days when it's coming through, or 2 days, whatever it is. You want to evacuate. You need to make a plan now. Where would you go? All right, we're in Tampa. Are you going to go to Jacksonville? Is the storm going to go to, the storm will come over Tampa northeast and go to Jacksonville, right? That can change. Now, so that your plan was, hey, if we ever get a storm, we're just going to go to Jacksonville. Well, depends on the storm, right? Where's the storm going? So you got to have an awareness of the situation at the same time. But if you make that plan now, if you get an idea of where you would go, you'll have a whole lot easier time navigating this situation when we get a storm heading our way, right? So share that plan with your family. Make sure everybody knows. You can print it out if you want and give it to everybody so they all know what to do. I always tell people to have an out-of-town contact. So I got family in Maryland, and I'll pick somebody that lives there and be like, okay, if you can't get in touch with me, call there and check in, say, all right, everything's okay, we're all fine, here's where we are, here's where we'll be. And then if I can't get in touch with them, then I can call up there if I can, right? You may have to borrow somebody's phone. You get one call, so you call up to that one point person and you find out, right? You find out what you need to know. And they'll likely be out of the area, so they'll have electricity, they'll have a normal life, and they can help you with information, that type of thing. We'll talk more about insurance, but you really want to walk around your whole house and just videotape everything. You can take pictures. I kind of walk around with a video and just video room by room. So if something happens, I know what that TV was, I know what that dishwasher was, I know all these different things. And that's the other thing in part of your kit. Like we say a go bag. Like you've seen those fan out type of things you put all your papers in. You should have that in there year round. Say there's a fire in your house. Grab it and go, right? Keep it somewhere where you can get to it and take it out and go. It's got all those important things in it. So it's not just hurricane season. It's all year round. It's a good thing to think about. All right, so later this week we're going to talk about how to get your house ready, how to do your insurance, how to help your neighbors, a bunch of different stuff. So hope everybody is getting ready. I got to be honest with you, I don't like talking about this stuff. But time is flying, guys. It's May. So this is the week that we do hurricane preparedness. That's just hard to believe. I was enjoying not having to look at the models for tropics, not having to talk a lot about this, but now's the time of the year to do it. So we'll get through this. Hopefully we won't have any issues this year. Let's take you live outside. Well, this is a time lapse. It's been beautiful out there. This is from this is actually from Armature Works, I should say. You can see Armature Works there in the lower right-hand corner. We've got a beautiful sight out at the beach. The winds are light out of the west-northwest, very light coming on shore. You don't even see much out there. You can see the temperature. The beach is cooler, but most areas are in the mid-80s now, and we'll go a few more degrees warmer. So a couple showers over here on the East Coast, right? Nothing major going on. Today's rain coverage will be a lot less than what we saw over the last couple of days. It'll start, let me get back in here a little bit. It'll start in this area right in here, west of I-75, central western Pasco, western Hillsborough, perhaps northern Pinellas, just a couple showers, if that. And then everything will kind of build to the east. But the overall coverage today is going to be less than what we saw Saturday or Sunday. We had some lingering showers and storms over the weekend. Lower to mid-80s right now, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Pasco, we got 87 in Wesley Chapel. Newport Richie at 85, 86 in Bartow and Frostproof and Lakewood Ranch, and Sarasota and Bradenton, yeah, 84, 86 degrees right now. So here's what this afternoon looks like, and you can see them starting to pop up here around 3:30, just a couple of showers, and that's it. There's not a whole lot. Look what happens by about 4:30 or 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's all east of I-75. It's out in western Polk County. And then it starts to work its way back towards the coast, so eastern Hillsborough, Plant City, Winona-Sassa, down to Fishhawk. Still a chance for rain 8, 9 o'clock tonight, and then it falls apart pretty quickly. So yeah, afternoon showers and storms, but the coverage is not like what we saw over the weekend. Now, this is tomorrow. Tomorrow, a little bit better coverage. This is 3:30. See that same area there. Northwest Hillsboro, Keystone, Racetrack Road area, Tarpon Springs Road area. Here we go by 5 o'clock. See, it's filled in a little bit more. Tampa, down through Brandon. That's 6:30 or so. You can see it's mainly east of I-75 at that time, but some bigger storms will be down south. I don't expect a lot of severe weather. Could get some small hail again, but the best chance for rain is going to see where I-4 is here, and clearly you can see all the rain's down in the south. So, well, not all of it, but most of it, right? Then it pushes back towards the coast in the evening hours. So you kind of have to expect to see some showers and storms for your Tuesday evening. Now, Wednesday, similar setup. Wednesday is just a touch drier, a little less coverage than what we'll see on Tuesday. And then Thursday and Friday dropped it quite a bit, so there's not much rain around on Thursday and Friday. So here's forecasts. Upper 80s today, 20% chance for rain in Tampa. It's a little bit higher east of I-75. It's not a whole lot. Tomorrow, we're in the upper 80s again. 40% chance for those afternoon showers and storms, and obviously some areas will be a little bit higher than that, 40 to 50% chance. Boating looks really good, less than a foot of seas out there. It's beautiful. The winds will, let's see, by Wednesday, especially Thursday, they're out of the west-southwest. It's not a lot of wind. It does pick up a little bit. But boy, oh boy, is it going to be warm. Water temperature is 80. Wind's going to be off the water through the weekend. And not a lot, but a little bit, 10 to 15 knots. And that's going to keep air temperatures. I mean, we're talking lows in the mid-70s, 75, 76 degrees for low temperature. And that's also bringing in a lot of humidity. We're going to stay humid through the weekend. Here's the rain chances. So you can see coverage-wise. Tomorrow, one of the highest coverages. Back down to 30, a little bit less on Wednesday. You see Thursday and Friday actually looking pretty dry. And then Saturday, if you look at the weekend, I think Saturday is actually the best chance for rain between Saturday and Sunday. Sunday right now, I've only got about a 20% chance for rain. But staying warm, staying humid. Look at those overnight lows. And I go 74 on Sunday morning only because I expect some showers and storms Saturday night that will drop that temperature down just a little bit before it comes back up. But onshore winds are going to keep us warm and muggy through the weekend. Now look, there is a small chance that we get some, it's not even really cooler air. I'm showing you temperatures at 5,000 feet. This is just a good idea. You can see air masses, right? You see the spin that's happening here? There's a low pressure sitting right in here. Okay? That's going to help to try and pull down. It's not necessarily cold or cooler air, but it is drier. At least the model's trying to say if this happens, we would get some drier air. And so what that means is Monday night or so, this is Tuesday afternoon by the way, we would really start to feel a difference in humidity. So I still have highs about 90 degrees next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but the humidity will drop off a little bit. Look at these dew points now, mid to upper 60s. That's where we are now. This is going all the way through Saturday into Sunday afternoon. No changes, right? But then watch as we get into Monday. This is Monday afternoon, dropping lower 60s. Look at that, Tuesday, Wednesday. Some real dry air in place. So if that happens, it'll stay warm in the afternoon, but it'll be cooler in the mornings, and rain chances will drop quite a bit. I mean, we probably won't see too much rain if that happens as well too. So if you've had you know summer's coming, right, guys? You know it's coming. You know we're going to have all this humidity around for the next 5 months or so. So if you want a little break before that gets here, it looks like we'll get one by Monday night, Tuesday of next week. So there's a 7-day forecast. Pretty typical of what we've seen the last couple of days. Best rain chances on this Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, and Saturday afternoon. So if you're making plans, that's it. All right. Questions, guys? Hope everybody's doing well out there. Haven't been able to see too many of the questions while we've been here. Gene, good to hear from you. Kenny, good to see you here. Marcy, Teresa. All right, guys, that's it. I'll go ahead and let you go. If you have any other questions, of course, I'll be looking. If you're on my Facebook page, Bobby Deskins Weather, I'll get in the comments here in just a few minutes and catch up with you there. All right? Have a great afternoon, guys. Enjoy that heat and humidity. Go lightning. Oh, by the way, all these hurricane tips that we're doing, go to the 10 Tampa Bay YouTube page. We've got all these videos that show you like kind of tips and tricks and hacks and things like that to do during hurricane season when you have to evacuate, all these kind of things. Really, really cool setup, very helpful things. We've worked on it quite a bit. So again, go to our YouTube page, 10 Tampa Bay YouTube page, and search like hurricane hacks. Just search hurricane. You'll find all that stuff in there. It's really, really helpful. And those I think especially are worth sharing with people because You know, I know when we have a system, if we have a system, that we're going to be really seeing a lot of those. But it's something that you can share right now so that people know what to do, what to expect as we get closer to the season. All right, that's it, guys. Have a great Monday afternoon.